Today we got Failed Son with us. We got Chris and Max from Failed Son. Super excited to chat with you guys. You guys are a kind of newer band that Cullen and I have been listening to recently. In fact, Cullen, I forget what show it was. It either was Furnace Fest or maybe it was when we went to Turnstile recently. But I remember you were wearing a Failed Son shirt.
I was. That's right.
And I don't remember which one of those shows it was.
I think it was at both.
I do remember. It very well could have been both. But I just remember like Cullen putting me on to you guys recently, and it was like one of those things where it's like, oh, like this is something that we should be paying attention to. So anyway, we reached out and you guys graciously accepted to chat with us. So here we are. Yeah, we'll obviously want to talk all things Failed Son, but before we dive into all that, how are you guys doing today?
Oh man, doing great.
Doing good, yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful evening out here in California. Just sun's just setting out my window, so can't complain. Yeah, life's good.
It's nice to be off work, long work day.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go.
We haven't seen each other probably like a month, to be honest.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like a reunion, to be honest.
Yeah, I made him come over here to make sure that we had a little bit of hangout time to do this. So
That's wild. So you guys come out with an EP 2 weeks ago, and you haven't seen each other in more than half that time. That's wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, it's been a very kind of like strange, tumultuous October for us. For me, at least. I've been out of the country, and then was traveling, doing some family stuff. So
Yeah.
just,
I feel you.
yeah,
I feel you.
all over the place.
Now, Mason, I don't know about you, but when these guys popped on, I was very surprised that they said they were from California, especially from the Berkeley area. They kind of look like South Dakota boys, don't they?
Honestly, they look like a version of us from South Dakota.
That's totally right.
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, do you guys have Midwestern roots at all?
Yeah, because you guys look like you've killed a few animals. I'll just be honest.
Yeah.
No, but I will say we both grew up in Northern California. So
okay.
much more,
Yeah, the South Dakota of California.
Yeah, it's the South Dakota, California. That's right.
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, like even in like the city that we grew up in, we were both kind of like deep in the outskirts in the foothills area. So
Nice.
Big backyards.
big backyards, horses, had some sheep. So
Nice.
chickens, fired some guns. Yeah.
There we go. So you guys are a little more down to earth. I can tell. You listen.
Yeah, you know what? I definitely do think a little bit of that like Northern California country roots is in a little bit of everything that we do, I'd say.
I love that.
I will say maybe the biggest difference between Northern California and South Dakota, because there are clearly a lot of similarities. The biggest one, from what I've seen, because I've watched a lot of videos of Northern California, maybe the biggest one is the fact that in Northern California, a lot of people grow weed, and you don't see a lot of that going on in South Dakota. So I'll be honest, that might be the one and only thing that really differentiates the two cultures of Northern California and South Dakota.
Yeah, definitely prevalent. About an hour north from where we were is the Emerald Triangle. So yeah,
that's what they call it, huh? The Emerald Triangle.
Yeah, big culture up there. Knew plenty of people growing up that was their sort of summer job was to go and trim weed up at these grows and come back and sell it out in the cities. So,
Cullen, it does seem like Northern California might be like the libertarian paradise. I'll be honest.
It very well might.
Those are the kind of people that definitely will they'll defend like trans rights with their guns.
Yeah, I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my jam right there.
Wait, can I ask you guys a question?
Sure.
Let's hear it.
How long have you guys known each other for?
Oh, what was it? 20, I think it was 2008, Cullen, right?
2007, 2008, something like that, yeah.
So 17, 18 years, something like that.
Yeah.
Since we've been best friends. We grew up in this, it's small town, South Dakota, so like we probably knew of each other, so Cullen's a couple years older than me, so we probably knew of each other, growing up. But yeah, I think we became, or at least Cullen became quickly my best friend, probably 2008, something like that. So
yeah, right around
at
there.
least 17 years.
That's
Going
awesome.
on 18 years here.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like Chris and I, we met in like probably middle school and really quick as friends, probably like sophomore high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably like
I mean,
2005.
that's pretty much Cullen and I's story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
and we've
that.
been friends ever since. Yeah.
So have you guys been playing music together ever since?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Around 2005. Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say was our first band. Yeah. And we've just done it kind of on and off ever since then. So
Okay,
And-
so a question for you guys then. Do you all fight like a married couple? Because I do think Cullen and I can, at this point, because we've known each other for so long, we can kind of fight like a married couple where we feel secure in our relationship.
Yeah.
But like we definitely like have our disagreements, or like we'll definitely like piss each other off every now and then, and we can like go through that in a pretty like healthy way, which I actually really like about Cullen and I. But yeah, do you all feel like you can actually fight like a married couple?
I don't. We're more like a teasing group. Like we'll tease each
Yeah.
other to death to the point where like it might be borderline where we might hurt each other's feelings. It blows over like super fast. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's a lot more like when shit's getting like real in any way, it's a lot more of like a disappointed dad kind of feeling.
Oh
Like
yeah, for sure.
Max hits me with a lot more the like, hey man, I'm just I'm just a little disappointed is all. And like
Man, you should have seen off screen when I was trying to fix the webcam here. It's just all this.
Max, were
No.
you like the son like holding the light, and you were getting screamed at by your dad for not holding the light correctly?
Yeah, how'd you know? You just nailed it. Yeah.
Well, I've hung out
Maybe
with
the
Cullen
screwdriver.
long enough, and certainly I've had a dad for long enough where that's just a common occurrence.
It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
oh, man.
So walk us through this journey a little bit more then. So you guys started playing music 2005 together. Sounds like maybe a couple different bands from the sounds of it?
Yeah, so 2005 high school for us, we were in this band together called Apollo.
Great name.
And we did that from high school until right about we were like 19 or 20 when we stopped, kind of like because of just people going away to college and things like that. But yeah, we did that band for about 4 or 5 years, and it was great. We toured with it. Music is pretty much impossible to come by now. We were very just kind of like a digital or like digitally versed people, and most of our stuff was on CDs. But yeah, we did that for a long time throughout high school. And it was great. We stopped for a little while after that, I don't know, until like the mid 2010s, where all of us were finished with school, and we're kind of just like ruminating about. We all moved out to the Bay Area from where we were at, so either San Francisco or Oakland or Berkeley area, and kind of met back up and started playing again for a while. I think when we first came back was in Sight.
Yeah.
We played in a band called Sight together. I was playing bass and he was playing guitar. And we did that for a while. Jumped from there to another band, little local band called Feeling Sad. That was kind of like,
It's a great name too.
yeah, it was very kind of like very throwback 2000s like emo rock. Unfortunately, we did that and we were having a blast doing that. I was playing bass again and he was playing guitar. And right when we started doing shows, COVID hit.
Stride.
Yeah.
We hit stride and then it just hit it. And
Yeah,
we
we
fully stopped everything. We played 2 shows. We played a Gilman show that was bad.
Yeah.
And then that was our first show. And then we played a second show that was like a house show in Santa Rosa, actually, like where we're from. And it was awesome.
Yeah.
And then COVID was like the next week. And
Oh man.
Yeah.
But it was all good. Like our friends started that band, and now one of them is our bass player, and we've known those guys since we
Hell
were
yeah.
16 also. So like that kind of allowed Philson to kind of open up in some way.
Sure.
Yeah.
Kinda.
And throughout all this, the other kind of missing piece of our puzzle, I think, our drummer, who we've also been playing music with since high school, he played with us through pretty much all of those bands as well. So, yeah, we've just I think it's really hard when you get really used to playing with a group of people. It becomes such a kind of like you said earlier, like a relationship, like a married relationship. Like you guys get so in sync with each other, and those like early steps of playing with new people are just like they don't exist anymore. Like you're so in sync with timing, and the conversations are minimal when you're playing music. So as much as we've drifted in and out and done other projects, we always come back to each other in one way or another. It feels like
It's nice when you can like speak that same language that it just feels like you can get rid of like that awkward first couple steps. You don't have to deal with weird personalities because you just know the other person. It's got to be pretty convenient. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there is always those first steps of exactly like you said, like the language of music is so specific for each person, and getting in a room with new people is awesome sometimes. Like it's like learning new languages, and you're all mixing these languages together.
Yeah.
But there is something to be said about the same room with people who have spoke it for so long, and just kind of like jumping right in and feeling the groove.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
Like sometimes we just start playing, our drummer will start playing a drum beat, and we'll start messing around. Like someone will start doing a joke bass line or something, and then we'll end up playing for like a few minutes, and then walk away and be like, "Whoa, there was something there. That was a cool part. What do we extract from that? How can we like build off of that?"
I think it's kind of like became our own unique language with each other, and I'd almost go as far as saying is like we're almost like antisocial about playing with other people. It's like where we've done it with each other for so long, like it's almost kind of like the only music time investment that we want to make because we're such good friends, and like we have like the values of being good friends and like making it kind of work with us and being like just musically creative together. Not that we haven't played with other people and other groups, and like Chris is saying, is like stepping in the room with other people is always fun and it's always good. But like I don't know, when I look back on it, Chris, I'm like, it's been us.
Yeah.
Like it's been like the four of us.
It's always been us.
It's always been us.
Yeah.
I love that.
No, yeah, for sure.
There is something to be said about that of just like some of these bands that we know and love are bands that just they've been around together long enough where that's just what you know of them, and like when they come together they just kind of know each other well enough where they're just like this is what's gonna work. Like Cullen and I just saw Jimmy Eat World at Furnace Fest a few weeks ago, and here's a band that I think Jimmy Eat World's for sure been around for 30 years.
30
right?
years, yeah.
Yeah, at least 30 years.
Yep.
And like you think of and like those guys have been together for 30 years. It's not like there's been member changes really or anything. So like here's four guys that have been basically like super close for 30 years making the same, kind of music. And at some point you kind of realize like whether or not like they'll have like another big hit like The Middle or not, like it doesn't matter. Like they just know how to write music together where one of them can start a drum beat or one of them can start playing a guitar riff, and they just almost like second nature. It's just like you see those couples that just can kind of end each other's sentences. It just becomes one of those types of things, and it's really funny, or really maybe not even funny. It's really cool to actually see that kind of relationship between people, like when they're just so in sync that you just see that. And so it's cool to hear, like even a band that like for us is a new band, Failed Sun is like a new band for us. Like it's really cool to know that like that kind of I don't know what the right word is. I don't even know how to say
Synchronicity
anymore. Yeah, whatever that
That's
word
the
is.
police. What are you talking about?
Whatever that word is. It's cool to see that between people. It really in any kind of like whether it's a marriage, whether it's bands, whether it's sports. I mean, you see that like between Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski or whatever. It's cool to see that between people because you just don't see that very often. So anyway, I just find it really cool.
Yeah, I think like the Jimmy Eat World example is like pretty rad because like no band sounds like Jimmy Eat World,
right.
And like that's what makes that band, right? And like you say, you might not have a hit like that Middle song from back in the day, but like that's almost the only one that they ever need, kind of. But like that's a really unique band. Like there's a lot of bands that are kind of like in that same genre or kind of like in that same lane, but like I think I don't know, we value this. Like we think about this. It's like the four of us, like the way we sound is because of like our relationship and our bond, and like same with bands like Janite World that haven't had a lot of lineup changes and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've always said, like, I think especially now, just like age and where we're at in our lives, like specifically with this, like we're going forward and we're enjoying ourselves and doing it, but there's always been the thing of like, well, if one of us leaves, like we're going to continue on. And there's definitely like some key people and key like parts of this where we're like, well, we couldn't do that again. Like, you make something different, but like,
yeah,
sound that we've created, like three of us, and I say three of us because our bass player joined a little bit later, but yeah, it's that language it's just locked in.
Well, hopefully no one does end up leaving the band or whatever. But if that does happen, you do have to name it after a celestial body.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Since you had O Apollo and Failed Sun, next one's going to be like Jupiter and Mars or something like that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we fell into that.
The negatives of being too close over here.
Right. Yeah. The ideas do start to circulate too much.
A little bit too much. Yeah. But it's like one long saga of many books.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I like to think of it that way too. I think that there's definitely parts of that.
That makes total sense. Am I cutting out here, Mason?
Yeah, it says your network is struggling.
I was gonna say I'm starting to have some weird situations here.
You're good though.
Sorry about that.
So, we could belabor this point around just like the connectedness between you guys, just because it clearly is a strength of your band, and as much as it. I think a lot of people might not recognize that right away. Like it is very clear that there's this cohesiveness in your band sound. And, I think for maybe a lot of like hardcore heavy music, especially for like maybe bands that are like new to certain people, they might not catch on to that right away. But like there is something about like yeah, like sometimes you like hear like a heavy band for the first time and you're like, oh, that sounds exactly like this band or whatever. But there is like this level of like you can listen to your band and know like, oh, there's something else that they're trying to do here. And I think that's whatever that is in Failed Sun, like that's the thing that is the marker of your like very long relationship with one another. Like there clearly is an intentionality around like a very specific sound that you all are trying to do. And it really is, I think the reason why we hear that kind of very intentional, specific sound is because you all have been in relationship with one another for a long time. And you have obviously clearly been working on and been in conversation with one another to try to figure out what is it that's going to make us a little different than like a lot of other heavy bands and hardcore bands.
Yeah, I thank you so much for saying that. That's very nice. I think, yeah, definitely like, in that same vein, because we've been together for so long, like, a lot of our conversations is about music, not just about playing music, but like music we enjoy, and we've shared a lot of that growing up. And so like there is all of these like kind of amalgamation of influences, but like it's almost at like a kind of, it's like this like 25-year like granular view where it's like, hey, you remember when they did this guitar part in this one album? That was cool. Or like, hey, like the vocalist like did these kind of things over here. That was really cool. Or like this like lyrical theme here was really cool. And I think that like all of that kind of like builds up over time and just sort of is like where we're at, where like it flows out naturally from all those like years and years of conversations. And this is sort of a project where we're like, let's just do all the stuff that we think is fun, that we like, that we would want to hear. And like, like I think I'm glad to hear that you just said that, because I hope that it comes through like that. And I think it does, but
I think it does. I think like our sound might have some kind of barrier where it's like, it's either your thing or it's not. Like you either gonna click with it or you might not at all. And I think that like the relationship thing, like what Chris is describing, I think has driven that. And I think like we've always been drawn to outsider music and hardcore and punk because of that, but that's not the only thing that we listen to. And so we take a lot of like those influences of the outsider and like have always felt like that and have always like been drawn to that, and then we try to kind of merge it with all of our other sensibilities to kind of just make it as unique as we can, I guess. And it really does, like, it comes off as us. And I think, like, to your point, like I think we are driven to like, how do I say it? Like, I think we're driven to be our own sound, and like maybe what I'm trying to say is like we want to be like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like authentic to ourselves, kind of. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
yeah, like I don't know. I could probably tell you every part that we've copied off of, the last 4 years of hardcore, right? But like we're trying to like
We're trying to own it as our own.
Yeah. Well, that's what they say.
Yeah.
They say good artists will borrow, right? I mean, that's just the way it is. But ripping off directly is something that the scene has seen a lot of, and it's tired. Yeah. And Mason and I think Mason hit it on the head perfectly earlier. Mason and I, we don't really have the time of day for bands that are doing the same thing that other bands are doing, because it doesn't feel, like you guys said, authentic. It doesn't feel like you're being your true selves. What you guys do does have that something extra. It feels more real. It feels more like it's trying to speak to the listener directly and not trying to necessarily appeal to everyone and their grandma.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I will say, this album needs to have the police called on it. This EP, because it is an absolute fucking assault, man. It hits so hard, and it doesn't really let up. And I like that the album's only 8 minutes, because if it was any longer, I would probably need to take a break. But it's that it has like this visceral kind of reaction from me that gets me amped and gets me ready to go and makes me feel, how do I say it, activated, I guess you could say. I know it sounds maybe kind of weird, but
I think what Cullen's saying is nothing gets him to back the blue more than Failed Son.
Yeah, you know me, thin blue line, baby.
Oh, no. We don't call the cops out here, okay?
I literally.
No, that rules. That's great to hear. Yeah, I think when we did this, because we came kind of hot off of our full length, which is so funny because the full length I think is like 13 minutes and this is 8 minutes. Yeah. So, it's yeah. We had just kind of like these like definitely like leftover ideas, and this was the first one that we wrote with our new bass player. Our original bass player, awesome dude. He moved away. He moved up to Oregon. And so, yeah, like we said, to keep it going, our friend stepped in, and he actually hadn't really ever played bass full on. Oh. He's just kind of dabbled, but he's an insane musician. He's like an incredible drummer. He played drums in Feeling Sad, the band that we were talking about, and the band site that we were in before that.
He picked up the guitar like 4 months ago, and he plays guitar better than I do already.
Holy shit.
He's a really talented musician.
He's just one of those guys.
I hate those kind of people, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I will say he puts the work in.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
He definitely sits room and plays for hours to learn. But yeah, coming off, and we wrote with him, and it's funny because in a lot of ways he brought in a lot of the more, and I think like kind of activated Max and Richard in the way of being like, here are some more like kind of like experimental parts. Like there's a lot of like pedals involved in this that like just kind of come out of nowhere to make weird noises. And and have always been in the camp of being like, how can we dumb it down more? How can we make it more like punk and like 4 on the floor, like D-beat, caveman music sometimes.
This ain't Radiohead, damn it.
Well, sometimes when I feel like it's getting a little too far away, I always get that way, even though like I don't even necessarily like, that's not like my like go-to music, but and I think like the synthesis of that though, like came in with this like really just kind of like, it has the assaulting, like fast, just speed that I was looking for, as well as like a room for like a lot of like lyrical play, which was like fun for me. And then just like big sounds everywhere else. Like we just took the guitars big and drums loud, bass booming, and I don't know. It I'm happy with how it turned out. It was fun. It was a quick turnaround. I think like time of writing to time of recording was around maybe 6 months.
I don't even know if it was
Yeah,
that long
so
ago. I think our motto is always like shorter, faster, louder.
Yeah.
And so like the 1 minute songs, minute 30, minute 45, like we're always trying to par down that as short and like chaotic as we can. And then when we go play them live, we do like blocks of them, like 4, 5 at a time, maybe, to kind of like make 4 minutes of music.
For sure.
And then we have to break because our harp is going too fast, and then and then come back in. But yeah, thank you for the kind of words. That's awesome to hear that you guys like it, Jim.
Hell yeah, dude. Chris, I'm kind of curious from your perspective. You've played bass. I don't know. You played in O Apollo. Did you say that? Did you play bass then too?
No, so I was doing vocals back then.
Okay.
Yeah, that was I started out playing guitar, and then was kind of, we were in high school, so it was sort of the like, who will do the vocals sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I said, I will.
Oh yeah.
Stepped in.
You've got a very unique style. It feels harmful to your voice. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if it is or not, but man, it really does cut through the mix, and it hits with an intensity that I have not heard in a while.
Yeah, I will say, like, it can. I think in the 3 years of doing this and doing live shows, I've definitely learned to control it and pare it down.
Sure.
And do it healthily now. But I mean, like, there is always, and there is always the rage and angst being released from it that sometimes makes me like a little like hesitant when we're recording, because like live wise, it's all or nothing. It's just all out. And sometimes we're in the studio, I'm trying to meter myself and figure out the best way to do it without like blowing my voice out in a day long studio session or something. But luckily, I will say I think this last one I walked away. I had everyone else do some like come in the vocal booth and do some like backing vocal stuff, and I was the only one who walked away without a hoarse voice.
Yeah,
so
for sure. You've gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Also, we forced him to find this register. Like in the first like couple months of like playing and being like, all right, we're gonna do this for real. It was like, no, Chris, you gotta go higher. No, Chris, you gotta go raspier. Yeah. No, Chris, you gotta do this.
You need to sound like Converge now. Try it. Good luck.
That'd be sick. You should maybe do that.
Maybe. But yeah, I think, and definitely like coming back after not doing it for so long, like I said, the band where I was doing vocals that originally we stopped in 2009, 2010 maybe. And then I just didn't up until we decided to start this, post lockdown, post just like being like, fuck, we're pissed off. I miss my friends. I want to get in a small room and just like write fast music. And I was the first to jump in and be like, I've got a voice, like I'm ready to yell. And yeah, I don't know. I've been enjoying it. I've been enjoying it immensely. Like it's super fun to be on stage and do that. I like a lot of like crowd participation. I like a lot of if there's a stage, I'm gonna get off that stage and be on the floor with people. Like, and so I really like that, and that kind of like harkens back to when we were younger, playing like house shows and stuff. As much as we were like that, I want to bring that feeling back into this band, even though like some of the shows we're doing are getting a little bit bigger. I want to continue that feeling as the voice, as the vocalist of this band. So
Love it.
You do. Uh,
Since you guys have played together for a while, it sounds like there's been like multiple iterations of like different bands that you've all played together. I would imagine, I could be wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, but I could see you guys like, you're hanging out one day and you're just like messing around on a guitar and on a bass and, messing around with some lyrics, and that's all it is, right? Like that could be all that it is. But then every now and then I'm sure you're just messing around, you're just hanging out, and then every now and then I'm sure it's like, wait, that's a thing, like that, where you're just like, wait, that might not be like the previous band that we were in, or that might not be this, but like this is a new thing. Like we just like hit on something. And I would imagine for Failed Son, and again, tell me if I'm wrong, but I would imagine for Failed Son, like that happened at some point where you all are like hanging out, you're maybe having a few beers, and then you're just playing around with some music, and then something happens and you're like, wait, like that's just not us screwing around here. That's a thing. And that must have happened. So like do you have a story around that, of like that kind of memory of like, wait, this is now Failed Son?
That
like,
100% happened.
Yeah. Well, yeah, funnily enough, we were
wait, it's time. We got to shout out Connor really quick.
Yeah. We were playing so with our old bass player. We did a little project with him. He was writing some songs, kind of like first time songwriter, and we had a practice studio that we've like had forever out here in Oakland. It's called Oakland Music Complex. Like every band from the Bay Area practices there pretty much. It's this big like 3-story awesome building. But we were there playing with them like 2021 with this band Terrier X that he had written for, and it's kind of like just like bouncy punk songs, really bass heavy driven punk songs
on party rock.
Yeah. And he kind of had written a bunch of songs, and he recruited me and Max and Richard, our drummer, he was like, hey, can you just come in and like write guitar for these? And like, I want to make these a reality. And specifically also because that group of friends, his group of friends that he's known since high school, they do a battle of bands every year where everyone kind of like makes their own band specifically for this party, and then everyone comes to that party and brings their music. So that year it was this band Terrier X that he'd written a bunch of songs for, and that was the first time that me, Max, and Richard had really gotten back in a room in a while and played music. And as we're doing these songs and having a blast, they're super fun. We recorded some songs with him and they're super fun. But doing it, I think there was this kind of like just this energy around the room of all of us looking to being like, we're kind of playing hardcore punk. We're getting close here, like, and then I'm messing around and I'm writing some parts, and Max is doing the same, and there's definitely like those side glances where we're like, we can do this.
Dude, I think you put down the bass. Connor picked it up. I had that one little riff. You remember the first song that we wrote? I'm still trying to bring it back. I want to put it on the next release, actually. I've been trying to bring it back for a while.
Yeah, but yeah, there were a couple things where we were just messing around, and we're like, let's do this thing. Like, I miss it. I want to do it. Let's get in and play together. And I think it just went pretty quickly from there. The three of us got together and started playing and put down a couple songs really quickly. And then, I just kind of hit the ground running and took off from there. Yeah.
That sounds so wholesome. I love that. I love it. Okay, are you guys ready for your top 5 most influential albums?
Yeah.
All right. So, no particular order. Remember, these are albums that have shaped you as a person, as an artist. Not necessarily your favorite albums. Okay. So I think we should just go like back and forth between Chris and Max. Okay.
You go first. You should do this one.
Oh yeah. Well, so one of mine specifically, I think like lyrically, and this is gonna probably maybe sound cheesy, but Bright Eyes, Fevers and Mirrors.
Not cheesy at all. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Bright Eyes and Fevers and Mirrors is one of those albums that, like, whenever I think about writing lyrics and specifically like creating a vibe and creating like a tone, is something that like just like latched onto me so hard, so young. I think I was like 13 when I first heard it. And like just originally like kind of like discovering alternative music and going down this like rabbit hole of sampler CDs and, you know, all of that stuff that existed at that time. Like, and I come back to it still, and I'm still just enamored every time. It's a classic.
I think good writers kind of have to tap into that 13-year-old self every once in a while.
Definitely. You know, I think, yeah, like, I think especially that, like, sometimes as an adult, like, that angst that I think does give hardcore a good drive and push sometimes is, I think that angst as you get older turns into apathy in, like, the way that especially, like, just, like, current state of world, current, like, the way that our information is, like, given to us, and we just are constantly, like, bombarded by things. And I think that sometimes, like, accessing that little depressed, like, angry boy inside of you can, like, really spark some actual good, like, motivation to write and do things. So
yeah,
Bright Eyes forever.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Love it. All right, next one.
Dude, I'm going with this one.
Oh yeah.
I'm a huge Dan Yemin fan. I love like Lifetime, Penny Black.
Yeah.
And I love Kid Dynamite.
Oh yes, Kid.
And I already said it earlier, but like Shorter, Faster, Louder. Like awesome. I just love it so much. And I think like if you're unfamiliar with it, it's like just fast power chord, like punk hardcore, more in the punk scheme. And like all the vocals are kind of like emotional and kind of like girlfriend rock kind of in some way or not, but it's hard, and they have like heavy topics, and like it's political, and like it hits all like the check boxes for hardcore punk. And then like just being a fan of Dan Young, like I just like all the guitar work he's done in every band that he's in. So like I'll pick Kid Dynamite also because I think it is like one of the bands that especially myself, Chris, and Richard, our drummer, like connect on, and have like always connected on since probably high school, because that band hasn't played in some years now, but like
yeah, I mean,
definitely
the late 90s,
yeah,
early 2000s. But like, yeah, just to piggyback on that, like I think that like they do something with like this, with like hardcore punk, but also like introducing melodies in a way that like I really like, and I'm stuck on. Like
this is a sonic choice. Like we like the sonic side of it, and like they do turns really good, which is like something that I think we've always tried to incorporate into like all the music that we've done, especially in Failed Sound. Is like they do like a turn on the dime where it's like one song up front and then the back half is this song, and then they blend them in a certain way, and it might be super musical or not. It might be really abrupt, but it's kind of like stylistically kind of what they're into.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a good one.
I'm not familiar at all with Kid Dynamite in particular, but it does look like on their last tour before they like officially broke up, that they played with Joyce Manor, and like the way you're describing them sounds a lot like Joyce Manor, where it's like you get like some of the melodic stuff, but then also there's like the super fast stuff that happens, and Joyce Manor does that really well.
Totally. If you get a chance and you're curious, go check them out. Like they're a Philly band, and they play like they used to play shows at like the church in Philly, where like all the media comes out of, like on the East Coast.
It's a Unitarian Universalist church. I'm in that, like I work in that kind of world, so I'm like I'm always like thrown off by the fact that it's a Unitarian Universalist church that all those videos come out of.
And it's so cool. That band is like we consider ourselves a very DIY band. Like those are our ethics, and that band very much is and influence us to be that way. And like that venue is proof that you can do it anywhere, and you should be doing it anywhere you can get your hands on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. 100% agree. Next album.
All right. I love this album specifically. I'm kind of like jump back to some of the albums that were like first influential, but like have stayed influential. I think kind of as a running thing we're talking about, since we've known each other. As the Roots Undo by Circle Takes the Square. You guys ever heard that?
Not familiar.
Like 2003, like scrams, like emo violence stuff. I'll never forget. I mentioned like CD samplers earlier, but this magazine AMP. Are you guys familiar with that? AMP. They used to be printed like on like black and white, like newspaper paper, and was like given out for free in the mall. And they would always have sampler CDs on them. And I heard this song on there, Crow Quill, which is off of that album, As Roots Undo, and it's one of the wildest vocals I've ever heard. And like the guitar is like just like so visceral. And
can you give us a brief taste of what those vocals would sound like?
Oh God!
Come on, come on!
I mean, it's like
they're kind of black metal.
Yeah, it's very like in like the vein of black metal. So it's like yeah, like very like back of the throat, like choking.
Yeah.
But I remember hearing it when I was like 9th grade, 8th grade, and just being like actually kind of scared and being like, what the fuck is this? Like I was listening to like skate punk and like the Weaker Thans, like I'm like, what the fuck am I listening to? This is crazy. And I think that they specifically like kind of grew me in a direction of learning about this like whole other like underground small genre of music that I had not heard. That's like, it's hardcore adjacent, but it's just like this whole other area of all of this like just crazy bands that would exist for half a year at a time and then disappear. And I kind of in high school went down a rabbit hole of being very into that stuff.
just in high school, really, of finding those nuggets, those bands.
Well, no, still very much so.
Oh, okay.
But like high school specifically, it was it was such a different time. I was using LimeWire and
for sure.
SoulSeek. I don't know if you guys ever used SoulSeek.
No, that one sounds like it's going to take more than just it's going to be more than just malware involved with that. I'm sure.
It was interesting. My
parents would find out about that one.
It was a direct. Just going off on a quick tangent. It was a direct file sharing to file sharing. So like you had to give people permission to download your files directly, but there was like a community around it. Anyways, yeah, As the Roots Undo, Circle Takes the Square. I highly recommend listening to it. It's weird, but it's so good. I still put it on. They broke up. Well, they were like non-active for a pretty long time. They came back and released one other album. We're like, we're going to do a lot more. And then they just never did. But we were lucky enough to see them when they were touring with that new album out here. In like 2012, 2013.
Wow.
Great band. Very
Cullen, I'm looking at this album, As the Roots Undo. It's compared to Orchard or Orchid.
Orchid. Yeah. It's all good.
I'm like so bad at
you don't know your
Orchid.
plants. That's okay.
And then it's like as if Orchid and Godspeed You had a baby.
Oh man, that is right up.
Yeah, I'm like, as I'm like thinking about this, I'm like, this is literally right up our alley, Cullen. And why have both of us never heard of it?
Oh.
Like that's like what's throwing me off. Like these are both bands that we both love. Like how have we?
It's kind of what I like about the like underground scene though, is that there's always more out there that you just haven't heard before.
And especially, when before there was Instagram and all these different ways of Spotify, all these different ways of seeing these things, like these albums could be, huge and influential in one small sect, but like if it didn't just make it over to that other group, like it might have died with them,
right? Right.
So
yeah, 100%.
Amazing. Yes, check it out. If you like them, I agree. I think that you will love this. It's very atmospheric. and then chaotic and then atmospheric again. They try a lot of things on this album.
Love that.
And not everything lands, but like that's what rules, you know?
That's right. Next album.
Should we really hit him with these? We're stumping them.
We have like a list full.
No, we love that.
Say whatever you want.
Honestly, we're using this time as like, just another way to gain more albums that we haven't heard
Absolutely.
sometimes,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go. I'll talk about
I
it.
mean, I'm mostly joking. No. This wasn't my favorite, so I guess.
Yeah.
There's a small band from San Diego area called Dangers.
Okay.
They have an album. It's probably their second full length. It's called Messy Isn't It? Probably came out in like 2000.
Oh man, 2012,
12 maybe. Okay. We've been big fans.
2010 on Wikipedia.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
We've been big fans for a long time. We've seen a whole bunch of shows that they put in California. This band is like aggressive hardcore, and it's like a thinking band, like from a vocal standpoint.
Okay.
The lyricism is like very in depth. It's very passionate. It's very pissed. It's like very political. He like doesn't like. He's not asking you. He is telling you.
Oop, 1 second here.
What you need to listen to, and what you need to maybe think about, and it's cool. I think it's a huge influence on us, and we've been like really fortunate to maybe not be super tight with them, but they've like we recorded with a gentleman that has like played with these guys before, and it's like always an honor to like step in the room and be like, we've been such huge fans of that band for so long, and like to kind of mingle in that realm is really meant a lot to us as far as what we do. But check that band out. Very pissed.
Yeah, they were definitely coming out of high school. The album before this, before Messy Isn't It, and this like was just kind of this like charged like view of being like, oh shit. Like I think during that time, like a lot of hardcore that was like more prominent was going in sort of like the like melodic hardcore, and this band just like brought it back to like they're just pissed. It's like borderline like on the power violence line.
Hell yeah.
They're fast and yeah, just amazing. I love them so much.
Dangerous for life.
Sick. All right, we'll check them out too. How about one last record here?
This one's a wild one, but I feel like this was like an album that we bonded over a lot when we first started playing music. So I think it's pretty important to say here. Fear Before the March of Flames.
Oh yeah.
Art Damage.
Yes.
Yeah, Fear Before the March of Flames, Art Damage was like with our first band was kind of like that was the model. And I listen back to it sometimes in certain guitar parts, and I still think like, oh yeah, like I'm pulling that. I'm doing that. And they had this specifically on that album, Art Damage, this like very like, it was during a time when a lot of those bands were like bigger studio bands, and they still sounded kind of messy and like very like DIY, even though like it had like the bigger studio production. And that's something that I've always really liked. And yeah, I don't know. That one just stuck with me.
Love it. Dude, great album. Great album.
Yeah.
I can definitely hear, at least the ones I know there, I can hear that in Failed Son, and I can hear that in the lyricism, and I can hear that all throughout what you guys have done. So that's great. And I'm going to check out those other bands. I know Mason will as well, because those sound,
Absolutely,
like I said, right up our alley. All right.
Yeah.
What would you like to plug?
Oh man. Yeah. Look, Laserdiscs. We're doing it. They have.
Wait, whoa, hold up. Okay, so like the big like record CD looking things that are like not quite DVDs. Like you guys, what do you mean you're doing it?
Yeah, I think like we're in such an age where people yearn for like tactile, physical media, and like they've kind of gone back. Like vinyl's had its thing, cassette tapes that shows have had their thing.
CDs have been popping for the last couple of years.
Laserdiscs, they're still out there, and they are high fidelity. So,
Some would say the highest fidelity.
some would.
They would say it's the
Some people that happen to have a T-shirt that says Laserdisc, right?
It is the format of the future. I've heard.
Well, there might be some insider trading going on here. maybe. Yeah, but you never know. We might press the whole collection on, 2 sides for Laserdisc.
I don't think it would take. I don't think it would take 2 sides.
No, it definitely won't. It's this much of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right. Because Laserdiscs can hold a lot of information, and we only have about 35 minutes of music collectively through 4 releases. So, but look, highest fidelity. I think it's going to be a hit. Yeah.
Sweet. So is there going to be imagery involved with this as well?
It's gotta be.
Because
yeah, for sure.
all I want is Chris with his shirt off doing some cool dances.
Look, we can make it happen.
I love it.
We can make it
I
happen.
love it. I want you doing like Sasquatch in like the northern woods of California.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've done it before, and I'll do it again.
Fuck yes.
And that's not just Cullen saying that. That's the lady Sasquatches that have been saying
Yeah,
that
they've been moaning for it.
Nice. Well, ladies, I am married, but
And I'm a Sasquatch fan, so I know those lady moans. So I'm just saying I could repeat them, but I'm not going to. But I could.
Because we don't want to call them right now.
I should have worn my my wife has a hat that says "Gone Squatchin" on it. The Sasquatch actor's hat.
Did you go to the museum in Santa Cruz?
Yeah, I went to the Sasquatch Museum in Santa Cruz.
Hell yeah. Sweet. Okay, so tell us the EP name and everything like that as well, just one more time for everybody. I don't know if we actually said it anywhere throughout the episode.
No, I don't think so. I think we're all avoiding it because
it's Denouement.
Denouement. It's French, but I'm just going with denouement. It means like the final act of a play, or like the climax of a play or a movie.
A Sasquatch climax. All right, we're into it. We're into it now. Sick.
Yeah.
Go check it out. Where do you want them to check it out at?
Yeah. We're on Spotify. We're on Bandcamp, Apple Music. We are very available through Instagram if you just want to chat. Send us a message.
Oh yeah.
We'll answer your questions. We like to.
Chris set up a web store recently, and
I
you
did.
can pick up vinyl from the last release there, and T-shirts, and then we'll put the CD on there. We're pressing them right now at the house, so
Love
we'll
it.
put those on there pretty soon.
Love it.
If you hit us up, you might even get one free. You never know.
Yeah, we do give things out for free quite a bit.
Nice.
So,
I got some free stickers. It was pretty nice.
There you go.
I will say some of the coolest designs I've seen for shirts and stuff like that for a while. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Did you design them?
Yeah. Like when we say DIY, it's all us.
I love
it's
it.
all in house.
I love
everything we can. So
I love the diving man or the upside down crucifixed man. I don't know what it is
the
exactly.
falling man. We
Yeah,
call him.
I love it. I love it.
It's gonna be everywhere next year. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
On
be
other people's stuff.
selling like hotcakes, right?
Yeah.
Love it, guys. Thanks a ton. This has been fun.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you
This
guys
was stuff
coming
like
on.
you.
We are Failed Son fans, and I hope everyone else is after this because you deserve to be listened to. It's really not a huge commitment of your time, everybody. So
No,
it's
quite short. We're just some goofy guys ripping music in a small room most days. So
Hell yeah.
What is there, like 18 minutes? That's it?
yeah, something
Something
like
like
that. We
Yeah,
might be
one,
pushing.
one Godspeed song.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
All right.
Sweet.
All right, guys. Well, thank you.